This is Open Mobile Health Exchange, a microsyntax. So you're probably wondering, what is a microsyntax? And I'm going to tell you. So what is a microsyntax? Well, it's human readable, human writable, machine readable, which means the ability to parse, and machine writable. It's short, compact, text string, often ideal for mobile text messaging, Twitter, etc. A good example of a microsyntax is the cupcake truck, expressing how to say where the truck is so Google Maps can find it. Okay, what isn't a microsyntax? XML and JSON are also data formats, but those are a bit longer, and those can be called microformats, and those are exclusively for machine-to-machine communication, and a microsyntax is something that a human can actually type, but also a machine can understand. Microsyntax.org is a new nonprofit organization dedicated to identifying microsyntaxes in general and finding consensus around microsyntax. OHM became a microsyntax thanks to Mark Scrimshire, which is not here, but he made an introduction, and that's how it became a microsyntax project. Okay, so my 5-year-old niece Allie said, "Hey Alan, like, how do I standardize data for multiple devices, medical devices? Is there an open source format I can use?" So the closest thing she could find solving the problem was Continue Alliance. And Continue is closed source and costs a lot of money. And if you know anything about my 5-year-old niece Allie, she really doesn't like closed source healthcare standards that cost a lot of money. And XML and JSON is great for machines, but what about us humans? So her older sister said, "Hey, Rachel," she's 8, she said, "Hey, let's define a microsyntax to solve the problem. And we'll make the license open source and business friendly, Apache 2, and we'll just give it away and put it on the internet, and that way everybody's got something they can follow." So that was the birth of OHM, microsyntax, easy, open, free, nirvana. That's an OHM, like, sort of meditation. So what doesn't OHM cover? Security and transport layer that is intentionally left up to the implementer. That's sort of wraps the microsyntax. The types of things that it covers is blood pressure. My cat's got high blood pressure. Weight. I couldn't get the cat to pose on the scale. Too much meomics. It's auto feeder. Bad news. Okay. The other types of thing covers body mass index, requesting access to information, mood, pain levels, menstruation cycles, start dates, things like that. Like things that you can text message for the most part. This is suitable for both devices and humans to type, and aggregation, things like iPhones. The anatomy of OHM is you have a command and a value. This is an example of blood pressure. You can have an equal sign. This is optional. That's really quick anatomy of OHM, not to get into the gory details. The group, this kind of started out of the Health Camp, Maryland, and we're using a lot of tools like Skype, Twitter, Google Groups, and Google Code. Everything's a proposal until someone actually implements it. That's sort of how we're working, and this is still evolving, this process. If you want to get involved, please do. Some of the most involved companies is Polka. They're developing an aggregation tool for this. Kia's and Identity. Is there anyone else in the group potentially implementing it? Can I get a whoop whoop? Okay, that's good. This is a website that has all the spec and the code. Share your code if you like. We've produced some of the code to this repository thus far. A parser and a library, command line utilities, GUI client examples, works on Linux, Unix, Mac, what have you. It's in Python because that's what we use. Love me some Python. Here's some screenshots from some of the stuff that's in the repository. You can download this. And here's a screenshot of command line screenshots. This is like 2 OHM messages, and it's being parsed into a list. This could be turned into JSON. What's cooking? Developing an OHM to CCR library, so it'll actually take the OHM message and turn it into an XML snippet that can be put into a CCR document or CCD, and an open source graphing library. We've got that in some of our code, but we're going to put that in an open source library as well. And that's it. Thanks.
Awesome.